Honorable members, I have a statement, a short one, on the demise of His Holiness Pope Francis, the 266th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church. Honorable members, pursuant to Standing Order 259D1, I wish to report to the House the demise of His Holiness Pope Francis, the Supreme Pontiff of the Roman Catholic Church. I do so with profound sadness as we all solemnly reflect on this passing on of the Pontiff, which occurred on Easter Monday, 20th April 2025, at his residence in the Casa Santa Mara at the Vatican. As members of Parliament, we join the global community in mourning a shepherd of extraordinary humility, compassion, and conviction. Born George Mario Bagliolo on 17th December 1936 in Buenos Aires, Argentina, Pope Francis was the son of Italian immigrants and grew up in a modest household. He was initially trained as a chemist, but later answered the call to priesthood and joined the Society of Jesus Jesuits in 1958. He was ordained as a priest in 1969 and rose through the ranks, with distinction serving as provincial superior of the Jesuits in Argentina and later as the Archbishop of Buenos Aires. His pastoral heart, concern for the poor, and deep commitment to social justice was evident throughout his ministry. Honorable members, on 13th March 2013, Mario was elected the 266th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church, the first Jesuit, the first person from the Americas, and the first pontiff to take the name Francis, in honor of St. Francis of Assisi. His papacy was marked by a relentless pursuit of mercy, social justice, and global dialogue. Pope Francis stood as a moral compass during times of global uncertainty, championing the causes of the downtrodden, reconciliation, and environmental stewardship. He often called upon world leaders to uphold the dignity of all human beings and the sanctity of creation. His landmark encyclicals and tireless pilgrimages touched the lives of millions and inspired generations towards unity, humility, and service. Honorable members, the late Pope Francis will also be remembered for his reformative vision within the Church, his efforts to modernize and humanize Church doctrine, and his outreach to youth and future generations. In Kenya, his legacy remains visible through strengthened interfaith relations, charitable missions, and spiritual guidance to millions of faithfuls. The words of his powerful quote, and I quote, "The Church is like a field hospital, heals the wounds and warms the hearts, helps build bridges between people and not build walls between people," are not just a metaphor but a mission he lived daily, reaching out across borders, faiths, and ideologies to bind wounds and inspire hope. Pope Francis passed away on Easter Monday, a poignant and symbolic day in the Christian calendar, embodying the message of resurrection and peace that he so faithfully preached. Honorable members, to the Catholic faithful around the world and in our own country, including yours truly, we offer our deepest condolences. We honor his legacy and we pray for the repose of his soul. May his life messages continue to guide leaders, nations, and people towards justice, humility, and compassion. As the world mourns his colossal loss, honorable members, let us be reminded by his example of the enduring power of servant leadership and the call to build bridges and not walls. May his soul rest in eternal peace, and I now ask you to be upstanding. For a minute's silence. May the soul of Papa Francisco rest in eternal peace. Amen. Yes, Owen.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, I want to join you and the rest of the Catholic faithfuls and in the globe to mourn the passing on of a great man, a great pontiff, a man who taught the world that building bridges was a better thing in the world. Honorable Speaker, that message of Pope Francis should resonate in the world, and that everybody should pick it, because as we live in this world, we need each other and we need one another to build a more cohesive and beautiful world. Honorable Speaker, I went to Vatican once. I looked forward to meeting the Pope. Unfortunately, I didn't get that opportunity. It was one of those moments in my life that I waited for, to meet the Pontiff, shake his hand and get his blessings. Honorable Speaker, I didn't get that opportunity. But it's one of the things that I looked for in my life. But I know you did. Yes. And probably you carried my blessings. I need to shake your hand.
They will reach you by osmosis.
Thank you. So, Honorable Speaker, we've lost a great leader in the world. The Pope is not just the leader of the Catholic, but he's the leader of this world. And therefore, I want to join the Catholics and Christians in the world to emulate, and other leaders to emulate the spirit of Pope Francis, to continue to build bridges and not walls. You can see in this country, as the president works, he's trying to build bridges all over, Honorable Speaker, so that we can have a more cohesive nation, more cohesive Kenya, in the spirit of Pope Francis. I thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I condole and pray that God rest his soul in eternal peace. Thank you.
Thank you. Bukose?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, you know, we refer to you as Papa wa Roma. And being a Catholic, I think this is a big loss to all of us in the Catholic fraternity. And I want to join you and the rest of the Catholics in Kenya to mourn the passing on of Papa Francis on the Monday last week. Honorable Speaker, we strive to build bridges and not walls between people. I think that's a very significant message, that we should not just take it literally, but be embodied as a Christian community. And therefore, may his soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you. Koyo?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to send my condolences to the fallen Pope. I am a Catholic by Christianity faith, and the Pope excited us because of many of the popes we have had. This one was real embodiment of real Christianity, man who practiced a lot of simplicity and sagacity, and throughout his life he preached about equality. He was very much committed to the position of the downtrodden, and he taught us that it doesn't mean anything to own everything in this earth and throw your soul to hell. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Mayaka?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, for my own self as a Catholic faithful, and to all the Catholics who are here, I would like to share my most sincere condolences. Also on behalf of all the Catholic faithfuls from Nyamira and the entire Gusii region, Pope Francis will be remembered as a Pope who was a people person, a people servant, and a Pope who really believed in standing for the downtrodden. We are told that one of his last words when he was passing on, Honorable Speaker, is that the Pope told the health care person who was taking care of him, thank you. And we will always remember him as someone who was ready to intervene in matters that really affected the downtrodden. So once again, on my own behalf and on behalf of the Catholic faithfuls, is to say Pole, and may his soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm not Catholic, but I have friends who are Catholic, the likes of Father Ben from Karatina, Father Kamwaro, Father Kimani, and the rest. I join them, Mr. Speaker, to send my condolences following the passing on of Papa Francis, a humble man we all should emulate. And we offer our condolences to the entire Catholic fraternity, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I hope now that for the 267th election, it's my hope that we will get an African Pope. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to also pass my condolences on my behalf and on the behalf of my constituents of Moibin. The Pope, the late Pope, was a very inspirational person. Mr. Speaker, I personally had a privilege to go to Rome last year, and we were with our right speaker, and I had a privilege to shake his hand. And he is a symbol of humility. Mr. Speaker, when he came to Kenya, he did not just choose to go and stay in the high places, but he chose to go and worship in the most humble place, and that is Kangemi. And that is why we remember him for the great humility he had. And on behalf of myself, my family, my parish, Eldoret Parish, I say Pole.
Thank you. Nguna?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to join our colleagues and also the Catholics across the world to convey my deepest sympathy to the entire Catholic Church, the family and friends of Pope Francis. Mr. Speaker, you recall very well last year I was with you in Rome, Vatican, and we visited Pope, and that was my third time to meet Pope and shake his hand, Mr. Speaker. I noticed he's a very good man who championed actually climate justice. And he was a man full of humility, love of humanity, and the world reforms, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the people of Mwingi West and my family, I would like to say that let Papa Francis rest in eternal peace. Amen.
Murugara.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm not a Catholic, but the Catholic Church, actually it's called the Holy Roman Catholic Church, is quite close to my heart because of the good deeds this church continues to do, not just in Kenya, but everywhere in the world. And this is a very solemn occasion when we have to mourn the passing on of the leader of the church, His Holiness the Pope. Mr. Speaker, Pope Francis will be remembered for his humility, his love for the poor, and the justice to everybody. And most importantly, is the way he went around doing his work, and especially when he visited the country. We were privileged and honored because it is not usual to have the Pope here. I remember him for the last thing he did for this country and for our people from the greater region of Meru, Tharaka Nithi and Meru counties, because our bishop has just retired or is about to retire, and he appointed another gentleman who actually shares a name with me, Father Jackson Murugara, to become the bishop of the Diocese of Meru. Another great gentleman who is very humble, is very a humble person who actually carries himself just in the character of Father Pope Francis. May the soul of this great man rest in everlasting peace.
Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of Ndewa community, and most of them Catholics, and on my behalf and family, Mr. Speaker, one thing I admire the Pope, and I want to say the power of humility and service. He served to the last minute, even when he was ill health. That should be admired. May the Lord Almighty comfort all the Catholic faithfuls and emulate what Pope was really practicing. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Daud.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to convey my condolences together with my constituents of North Imenti and the Diocese of Meru to the whole fraternity of the Catholic Church. Mr. Speaker, the Catholic Church, we have, from my parents, we have dealt with the Catholic Church for over 70 years in Meru County and the larger Meru County, the Rakanidi as well. So I wish to give my condolences. And Pope Francis was a uniting figure. He went to the other religions as well, worked well with the Muslim religion as well to cooperation and all the other for peace and that. So may God rest his soul in eternal peace. Thank you.
Mutunga.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on my own behalf and on behalf of the people of Tigania West, I stand to eulogize with all the Catholic fraternity, Honorable Speaker, for the loss of the hand of the church. Honorable Speaker, I have friends in the Catholic Church. I may not be a Catholic, but I have friends like the newly inaugurated Diocesan Bishop Murugara. Honorable Speaker, also we have Father Kinoti, Father Clement, and others, Father Machali, and so on, who are really good in their work and doing a great job to develop this country. Honorable Speaker, Father, the Holy Pope was integrative. He was not only integrative, he was a humble person. His humility spread across. When he visited Kenya, he did not just sit with the Catholics. He sat with all denominations. And he was able to integrate, to show that when it comes to matters going to heaven, it takes everyone. The root doesn't matter. What matters is being right with God. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of my people, I do eulogize with the Catholics and pray that his soul rests in eternal peace. Thank you.
Pasaris.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to convey my deep sorrow and profound gratitude as I join the faithfuls around the world in mourning the passing of Pope Francis, a shepherd who led with humility, courage, and boundless love. Pope Francis showed us that faith and conscience are not at odds, but together are a path to authentic discipleship. He reminded us that the heart of the gospel is mercy, justice, and dignity of every person. As someone who believes that conscience is sacred and that love must always be our guide, I found Pope Francis to be a true reflection of Christ's compassion. Today we give thanks to the Almighty for his life, his teaching, and his witness. May his soul rest in eternal embrace of the God we serve so faithfully. May we honor his memory by knowing that love is stronger than judgment and inclusion is deeper than fear. Mr. Speaker, I've seen a lot of people on social media, the ones who have no respect, actually painting a picture that shows that they have no respect for a man who lived with God and ruled over 2 billion people as a spiritual leader. By putting Raila's image and putting Raila in pop clothes, I think that is so disrespectful. I want to tell our Gen Zs out there are those of you who stand for certain values, and we respect you for your values, but do not allow those values to be undermined by those that have no respect. You should have respect for Raila Odinga, and you should have respect for the 2 billion Catholics, and you should have respect for the Pope, who has not even been laid to rest, and you use his death as a mockery. It's something that you should be ashamed of. So let us hold each other with respect and dignity, because if we fail to do that, then you are actually a lost soul. We need to actually honor the people that we have in this world that do good. And Raila Odinga is one of them, and our Pope is another. And there are many others like that. So please, let us have respect and decorum when we are mourning somebody of such high astute and respect across the globe. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Namwar.
Thank you, Speaker. Together with the people of Turkana Central and the Diocese of Lodwar, Honorable Speaker, this is a moment in which we remember the Pope, and together with the Church, in the tremendous things that the Catholic Church has done in Turkana. And during this moment, we send our condolences all over and together with fellow Kenyans. Honorable Speaker, the life of Pope Francis is akin to the people from the north, those who are pastoralists. And when Pope Francis accepted to take very menial jobs, like being a bouncer, he was able to understand the challenges that people, the human beings, go through. Honorable Speaker, he lived by it. And when Pope was able to travel, even to Asia, to countries in Europe, he was able to identify with the poor. Here in Kenya, when he came, he identified with those who are in the slums. In fact, he advocated for the housing improvement. He even advocated for good neighborliness and love for those who are poor. And he was able to say, those who live in slum areas are able to exhibit the attributes of Jesus. Honorable Speaker, I know this is a time when we are looking for another pope, but to us, we want somebody who can be able to broker for diplomatic relations, like how Pope Francis did for Cuba and the US. And when he was visiting the Palestinians and even the Arab countries, he was able to identify with the faith of the Islamic religion. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Member for Ndia, then Milemba. Ndia, GK.
Honorable Speaker, thank you. I rise to join millions across the globe in mourning the passing on of the Holy Father. Honorable Speaker, the Holy Father was a symbol of humility, peace, and moral authority. Honorable Speaker, the Pope is one man who displayed a life that can inspire us leaders to focus on the common good, on the things that make the lives of our people better. So, Honorable Speaker, I, on behalf of the people of Dia, mourn the passing on of the Holy Father. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this chance. Let me take this opportunity to join the rest of ourselves and yourself to actually stand with all the Christians around the world, especially the Catholics, and say Paul for the loss of Pope Francis. The Catholic Church has been very, very great, and being the first church, it has had a lot of contribution to the world. The Catholic Church is the one that used to actually distribute kings in Europe, and it was actually the overall authority in Europe until when they did agree that it reduces itself to the Vatican, where the Pope now stands as the center of the Catholic Church. Otherwise, the Catholic Church has had a lot of influence, not just in religion, but also in the politics of the world and in Europe. In Kenya here, the Catholic Church has been very great in coming early to establish some of the first schools in this country, including Alliance High School and other schools, which have done very well. And indeed, the Catholic Church was a founder of education before the government went ahead to actually take over education. So on behalf of the people of Emuhaya and the Catholics of Emuhaya, especially Kalira, where I have a school that is being sponsored by the Catholic Church, I want to actually stand with those Catholics as they mourn the loss of Pope Francis. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Can we end here? For those who profess the Catholic faith, I will be going to the residence of the nuncio to sign the condolence book on Thursday at 9 a.m. You can get in touch with my office to tell you the assemble point, then we can all go together. Even you can come. when your spiritual leader passed on, we eulogize the same way here. So those who profess the faith and their friends on Thursday at 9 a.m. Pardon? Okay, next order. Before we call the next order, honorable members, allow me to acknowledge Chemilil Sugar School from Horoni, Kisumu in the public gallery. And in the speaker's gallery, we have a delegation from the Parliament of Ghana. I wish to introduce to you 3 staff from the Parliament of Ghana who are seated in the speaker's gallery. The officers are on a week-long benchmarking visit to Parliament, collaborating with our Directorate of Finance and Accounting to gain insights into best practices in expenditure tracking, resource mobilization, and other critical aspects of public financial management. Honorable members, on my behalf and that of the National Assembly, I welcome them to the House of Parliament and wish them fruitful engagements. In Ghana, they say, midase. Thank you. Koyo. Give Koyo the mic. Mayaka, switch off your mic.
Switch off your. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to formally welcome Chemilil Sugar School to Parliament. This is a serious school from my constituency. It's unfortunate they didn't arrange with my office, but I want to welcome them and urge them to look at the goings on in